Hey, we're back, and we're gonna get round 5 in.
Who's playing?
Dan Ford's gonna come over here and type because he's the typey guy.
I can do that.
We have Gary Wong in seat 1.
What's his record?
They have 4 1s. And we have James Wasilek. Zislak.
4-1.
ZAW. They're both 4-1, yes. These are the win and ins. Gary Wong is on Blue Red Delver. And I believe James is on Bug Control. We will have to find their lists.
Snow?
No, not Snow. Just Bug Control. So you have Gary Wong's list. I have James's list. For this bug list, he is basically, this is everything you'd imagine to be Bug Control. 3 Snapcaster Mages, 4 Baleful Strixes, a Leovold, couple Narsets, and Liliana.
Not Snow.
Not Snow. I said not Snow.
Wow.
So we have a lot of spicy removal spells, the Triumphs, the Assassin's Trophies, a couple Decays. The Disruption package is a Thoughtseize, an Inquisition, and 2 Hymns to go along with 4 Force of Wills.
Now, James did well in the last league, right?
I believe James did not do well in the last league, yes.
Okay, then I think it's somebody else. Okay, well, Bug Control making it this far, but a little bit of... he's only running 1 Leovold?
He is only running 1 Leovold main.
With the Narsets, too.
And the Narsets, yes, the blue
So
Leovold.
the rest.
Can you put them at 52 minutes from now?
Probably.
I'll give him the thumbs up.
All right. We have James starting off with a nice Thoughtseize. Coming in, looking what he's dealing with.
Coming in hot with the Thoughtseize.
Gary? How does he force this?
You gotta move it over. Writing's too big. I can't see if that's N1. What if he's 4 and 2?
Then he would have already played this match. All right, Gary. Yeah, he just says it's not worth forcing. I think he takes it over here.
It really depends on his hand. I haven't seen James's hand yet. Who would you expect to be favored in this matchup?
Let me see.
It's a lot of removal. Big planeswalkers.
I think James is favored. Unless Gary can go under again. I think that's just Blue Red Delver's plan. But if James can get out the Baleful Strix, the Fatal Pushes, really just take control. He found the 1 Thoughtseize, which is a great thing for him to start with. I think that if he has the removal, then he takes the Force. Yep.
Yeah, and with
Big tell for Gary here.
With the
Gary gets his Spell Pierce, I think.
The pairings that we just saw, every person playing this round is winning. We actually have 4 winning in matches right now. Looking at old Gary's list. Old Gary.
Bringing up Gary's list.
Here is the Delver. He's going to need this Delver to exist and do tons of work. Draws what appears to be a Fatal Push. But he's going to lead off with Ponder, pre-land drop.
So Gary still runs out the Delver.
Both lists are playing True Name Nemesis, and both lists appear to be cold to True Name Nemesis.
Yeah, at least for the first game. Second game, I think that...
that's a Brainstorm, right? That's the...
explosives and other things.
Yeah.
Ashiok as well in sideboard. We'll get to that.
You read your own list, okay, over there?
Gary's playing Blue Red Delver. We know what that does. We've seen it a lot today.
We don't get to see all the cool cards James is playing yet.
Well, I'm sure that he wants us to see them because he wants to see them. We got a hymn that he can fire off next turn.
Looks like a hymn.
Hymn, Ponder, I saw an Assassin's Trophy.
I'm gonna say definitely an Assassin's Trophy.
And and the Liliana's Triumph. I thought I saw him there too. Yeah, Scardia's right there.
He doesn't have the second land
Oh,
though.
and then he drew another.
He doesn't have the second
No
land
second
though.
land. He's just
That's
digging.
that's the
Spell
problem
Pierce.
here.
Spell Pierce right on it. Oh,
Just
Gary
Spell
saw
Pierce.
his opportunity and just digging in.
Gary doing what he has to do, playing very Delver things,
Yeah, Gary's digging in. He's
Making
just
the
like,
ri-
oh, you're gonna
making-
stumble. This is where I can shine.
making the right moves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because
That's our Gary Wong.
I mean, one Spell Pierce there, it's 3 more damage. He gets to draw another card. He could potentially hit a Wasteland. He's gonna get to Ponder. Ponder into Wasteland would be huge.
Yeah, this would be really big. Okay, and he
There's
has the
the
bolt.
Ponder.
I think that Gary is thoroughly in the driver's seat here.
He has the second land. He has the Force, or he has another land. No Wasteland though. The
Is there a
Force of
counter?
Will is there. Force of Will is what it was.
Then he should take that force and protect his Delver, right?
Really, I mean, it might have been a
Boom.
Daze too. There,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a
take
Daze.
the
The
Daze,
Daze is
yeah.
gonna be big.
That is big. That is big.
There is nothing.
Can't cast that.
There's the Brainstorm. Here's the
Brainstorm,
Daze.
Gary's just like, you're not getting off the
That's
ground.
once
I'm
again,
not
it's
letting this
draw
happen.
another card, another 3
And then
damage.
right into the force.
Yep.
Oof. 3 damage.
Have you ever been Delvered before in your life, Danford?
This is exactly what happened. So
There's
and
the
a Dreadboard.
Arcanist. Well, the Arcanist will play around the Liliana's Triumph.
James cannot get off the ground.
James cannot get the second land. These greedy 1-land hands. You have the Ponder, or you have the.
Yeah, I think it's a pitfall. I got all these
So
cantrips.
it's 8. This is game, right? Yeah, it's bolt, swing, bolt, swing, bolt.
Yep.
Game's over.
And then bolt it again. Take 4. Spell Pierce on it. Pays.
Pays. There it is.
Scoop him up. Yep.
Well,
All right.
That was fun.
Well,
Gary Wong doing Gary Wong things.
we did the magics. We played magic.
We played Magic. James proceeded to resolve 0 of his cards and
That was our
gets to go to
4-minute
sideboard.
Magic
What
game.
do you see Gary bringing in here from the sideboard?
Well, Gary's probably going to want to bring in his Blood Moon. I think that's probably pretty good. Let's just go through his sideboard. He has 1 Sulfur Elemental, 3 Surgical Extraction, 2 Pyroblast, 1 Red Elemental Blast, 2 Narset, 2 Hydroblast, 2 Flusterstorm, 1 Blood Moon, 1 Abrade. I think that Gary didn't see any green.
Gary didn't see any cards that he didn't need to see.
So I think
I believe Gary knows what James is playing.
if Gary knows, then I think that we're just going to see Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast coming.
Yeah, there's
Maybe Narset.
no jig is up. I believe Gary knows he's playing Bug Control.
Yeah, I think Pyroblast, Narset. We'll see how many cards. 2, 3. So yeah, I think he's bringing in Pyroblast, Red Elemental Blast, and the Narsets. Maybe Flusterstorms. Probably not though. What's James doing over there? He's got a hot and spicy sideboard. Want to read it for us?
With these Delver decks that we've seen all day, it's really just going to be, can he get his lands underneath them? You know, we were, unfortunately, today and today only, we are in a Delver meta, and this Bug Control deck is going to have a hard time establishing control when someone like Gary, or when the Blue-Red Delver deck is just going to be bolting everything you do, attacking for 3. Spell Pierce that, Force of Will that, attack for 3, and hopefully just end the game with a Flurry of Burn. So he needs anything he can to help stabilize. A lot of the bigger cards like the Toxic Deluge and maybe the Plague Engineer can come in, but they're going to look really bad in your hand when you only have 1 or 2 lands in play. So I could see the Duress coming in, maybe a Spell Pierce.
What about Bitter Blossom?
Maybe Bitter Blossom, but that's going to be another card that you don't want when you can't
Losing
get there.
life and-
So I could see him bringing in a lot of the lower to the ground cards and taking out the bigger stuff.
That seems. I mean, but then you're playing their game plan.
You're kind of playing a worse version of them, but
Right.
you have to be able to get. He has so much more removal. Like Belfastrix is such a house in this matchup. He has the Snapcaster Mages, so his card advantage and his grind is inherently built into his deck. He doesn't necessarily need these big payoff cards.
Right.
He just has to, resolve a Hymn to Torok, get a couple Baleful out there,
Get his lands out.
start removing stuff, start playing lands. He's going to be able to do multiple things and get ahead of everything. Just how he gets there and how he decides to do that is going to be the problem.
Yeah, I think that he might want some answers to say true name, and then the best one that I can think of was EE, engineered explosives, which can blow up, convert a mana cost of whatever number of colors you can put into it.
I mean, he has
Probably
2 Liliana's Triumph, so it's not like he's completely gold to true name.
right, but then he has to kill everything else. I think that he's going to bring in Toxic Deluge for sure. Plague Engineer, I think he's going to bring in
Engineered explosives.
Engineer Explosive for sure. He might bring in the Duress, but I think
see
that's
those
risky.
being rough.
And Hydro Blast. So, resolving some mulligans here. James is on the play. So, James likes his hand. It's got lands, it's got some removal, it's going to be able to draw him some cards with Baleful Strix, and he has that Hydro Blast. I think that he feels in a good spot here.
I mean, just
Blue,
having...
Blue Elemental Blast and his Hydro Blast. So I think that's a strong hand from James. Gary, Bolt, Daze, Delver, already, and a true name, I think, and a Ponder. That's what Gary wants to be doing. He doesn't play anything, though. He's like, I'm not going to play out this because I know that you're going to be able to
Multiple
remove it.
Baleful Strixes is a great way to slow the game down for James.
Yeah, really get it to the point where I can play my Lilianas, I can play my Jaces, I can play my Leovold.
So he has the Assassin's Trophy, or he has the Assassin's Trophy.
Okay, put out
He
the
has
Delver.
He has a
with
lot
backup.
of removal in his hand.
Yeah. I don't think that James is as
the
worried
triumph.
about this Delver. I don't think that he's going to Liliana's Triumph here.
I don't think he has to. I think he just plays another Baleful Strix and says go.
Yeah.
Or if there's a him in his hand,
If he has a Lily, that's big here.
you wouldn't want to tap out straight into a Daze.
That's true, but he didn't daze the Strix.
But he
Okay.
didn't not Daze the Strix. Maybe he's just smarter than all of us.
It is Gary Wong.
It is Gary Wong here.
Decay. Nice. Make sure it's gone. Be able to ping in. Get in there, Strix. Doing your job. Another true name. Gary really just needs to hit those land drops now. Make sure that those true names are solved, and I think he'll win.
Resolve and has to play around. What he has to assume is
Double
Liliana's
Wasteland
Triumph.
and a fetch. 3 lands. I think you keep this. He's got a lot of spells in hand. Yep. He wants to be able to put some pressure on. Wasteland that gets you off green.
Take him off green.
Ooh, but
Wasteland
then a
of his
Wasteland
own.
back, but there's no targets. Blue-red Delver. Low to the ground. Very consistent.
No other Baleful Strix.
Get the other Baleful Strix out. So, but True Name does not care about Baleful Strix.
Yeah, no, interesting matchup here.
Another Wasteland on a C. Nice. Gary's like, I have time. I'm not worried about your clock. Let's keep it going. But we'll play out a Delver
here's gonna be a Delver.
because when it flips, it'll be worth it.
I mean, just a good card. It's also a card that gets your name around
Swamp
the swamp. There's
Triumph. I mean,
Hymn to Torok.
Hymn to Turok is good here. Very
There
good.
it is.
here.
Does he have the Pierce?
Ooh, he does have the Pierce.
He's gonna let it resolve.
Yep.
Probably-
He cannot. He's like, I will take that, and it's okay to not have my red mana because I have all blue spells. My entire plan is on blue spells right now, so it does not matter to me. Okay. And this is what's on the line right now is that top 8 into the 4th tournament of the year to be able to make $1,000+ in the prize pool for today, and then get points in order to do a free tournament that has 16 people of, I think it'll probably be around $1,500 when at
When
the
it's
end,
all said
at the
and
end of the
done, yeah.
year, probably around $1,500. So this is a high stakes match for these folks. Getting that other land, I think Gary Wrong's in a good spot.
I mean, Gary Wong has a lot of blue cards in his hand. or a lot of red cards in his hand. And
James also not really worried about his life.
he's only going to get one shot at this land. So you kind of he could play the Volcanic, decide which one spell he wants to cast, and then bait him into Wastelanding.
Yes. Oh, and then James is just pulling so much removal. But Gary has the True Names.
There's the push. Well, the removal keeps Liliana's Triumph alive.
Yeah, James keeping priority on his removal right, saying like, if I can keep his board clear, then I can use these Liliana's Triumph to make him sacrifice the creature because it doesn't target the True Name.
Yes.
Then it's all good. But Gary has another Wasteland to be able to keep James on so low on mana, but James just keeps on ripping the mana. He's getting what he needs. I think that was 3 Wastelands now from Gary,
Wasteland,
and
yeah.
it just lands every single time afterwards. It's just lined up so well for James here. True Name resolves.
Liliana's Triumph
Liliana's Triumph.
also resolves.
That's it. Gary's like, okay, I have more
Slowly-
threats.
Slowly just picking him to death.
And so we have an Assassin's Trophy, a Red Blast, a Blue Blast, yep, right there. Gonna counter that.
Yep.
Okay. I think he leaves 1 back tax. No, he's got the removal still. He still has that
Has two.
Assassin's Trophy. He's got nothing but removal. He also has the Jason
Removal
hand.
and Jason in his hand.
I guess he only had the 1 True Name. All right, ping him for 1. This is as much as Gary can do here. He doesn't want to be bolting these. Well, I guess he does.
Yeah, no, at a certain point. At a certain point, that's what you do.
Counter it.
Force pitching.
I think Gary's fine with that. No, it was Blue Elemental
yeah, Blue
Blast.
Elemental Blast.
All right, take 2.
Take 2. Resolve.
Jace.
Resolve. Just say.
Play Jace, bounce.
Play Jace. Get Hydro Blasted.
Oh, Hydro Blast.
Go to 3. I mean, Gary's done his best to run him out of cards here.
Running out of cards, yeah. I mean, Gary might be able to stabilize at 1 life.
I mean, blocker removal.
Yeah, I mean, Delver flips, you don't attack. No flip.
Delver doesn't flip. He has 3 though. He has the bolt.
He has the bolt, but then looks like a mountain. Yeah, mountain. All right.
Still here. It's an
that's
Assassin's
another
Trophy, another
Trix.
Baleful Strix. Baleful Strix so good against Delvers.
Yeah, it's seriously such a good card. Oh, and then there's
More
the Triumph.
removal.
I mean, that's his deck, right? His deck is Strixes in removal. He has to say go. and then
Here's-
bam.
There's the sacrifice creature. Seeing how many he plays. Seeing what's going on. Imagine just trying to get as much information as he possibly can out of
Yeah,
the game.
at this point, yeah. He's like, okay, well now I'm gonna kill that. He can still stabilize. 1
1.
Narset.
Narset stops every cantrip that he
Cantrip.
would want to play.
Yep. And lets him go get
And
maybe a
lets
removal.
him get nothing
Inquisition?
really. Yeah, nothing real.
I don't think that you want to get that. I would have taken a brainstorm.
I'm taking the brainstorm. He's in a casting position and see what's up.
Yeah, anything that he would have cast, he would already get. He could cast, he would already
There you
cast.
go.
Next game.
Land off the top. Going to 3.
Pretty close there.
Going to
actually.
3. 1-1. That's your part. The updater.
That was game 3.
No, it's game 2.
That was
We're going
game
to
two?
3. Yeah, they're 1-1.
That was game 2, everybody.
Yeah, Gary shellacked him game 1.
The first game was so fast that I couldn't even catch up.
Couldn't even figure out what was going on.
That's just my life, actually. Real talk, chat. Real talk.
It's almost like
So I think Gary's putting back in his daisies.
Gary was hurt and just kept pushing on.
Oh no, Gary's taking out his daisies.
Gary's taking out his daisies on the draw.
I think so.
I think
But what would he bring in over it, you know? That's the question. I don't think he wants surgicals because there's no real big haymakers.
I think
to give him
Days is good in this instance.
on the draw.
On the play. Gary's on the play.
Gary's on the play. He's
Gary's on the
putting
play.
Putting the Daisies back in.
Dan Ford has forgotten what he's doing here.
This is a winning in. This is for the big bucks.
This is for
Right
the
here.
big bucks. That's all
this
we've
is
got.
This is for the top of the 8. 8 tops.
This is at a shop, but it is
big tournament
it's
at a shop.
57-person Arizona Toronto Magic League tournament. One second. I'm gonna see how the other groups are doing for our fans at home.
And we will be resolving our mulligans soon here between Gary Wong and James Zawaslack. I don't know. I'm sorry, James. If you come back and listen to this when it's on YouTube, I'm sorry for your name if I messed it up. Or if your mom's watching, which I hope she is. Okay, what do we got?
News for everybody. Gray Elman, our Elves player, has back-to-back top-8'd, and Devin Balthus on Eldrazi just punched his ticket into the top 8 of this tournament.
Man, this is going to be a fun top 8 then. Well, folks, here we are coming into the winning in for the top 8. Gary Wong, very seasoned player. James, always liking his grindy blue decks. And they are fierce competitors in the scene. We'll see what they're able to do. We're going into the big stuff here. What else can come from this? So, Gary, I think, is very happy to be on the play for this final match. Him winning that first game in such a way, I think that he just wants to run it back exactly how he did it the first time. I think that he doesn't even need to see sideboard. If he can play the same way that he played in the first game, he doesn't even need to see sideboard cards.
Where we're going, we don't need turn signals.
Nah.
I believe this is very preliminary. I believe Daniel Espinoza on Dark Depths is about to punch his ticket into the top 8.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
We got a Depths player, the Depths player.
He is locked in battle with Anthony Hare, who is on Naya.
Oh, they had to do some cannibalism.
Mr. Alexander Tash.
Alexander
right now.
Tash joining us in the booth.
He hasn't
ready
played
to give his
Magic
extra
at all
calendar
today, seeing how he drew twice and got the
how'd
bye.
you do? How'd you end up doing?
So I heard that the best way to play Magic is not play Magic at all. So
Yeah.
So you went to time.
We were at Amazing Discoveries Gilbert. Next question: how come you haven't gotten us food? What
Oh,
is
are
going
you
on
guys
here?
hungry?
We've been hungry all day. Not one person's walked and asked us for anything.
I've been asking the stream and nobody's done anything.
dang.
Dan weighs 84 pounds. Like he needs
Yeah,
to eat constantly.
83 now. Okay, been working on the
83
figure.
now.
Did you guys want any like snacks?
No, it's too late. We're mad about it.
Okay.
Yeah, now
Are you
we're
like
just
are you like
angry.
at that point where
Yeah, we're just mad.
you're so adamant that you want to stay mad that you're not going to accept anything?
3 hours ago, type in Amazing Discoveries Gilbert, by the way. 3 hours ago, I would have been like, yes, I want something to eat. But now I'm just like upset and angry about it.
Yeah.
Can you go let us know what happened with SB and
So,
SB and Hare?
what are our mulligan situations here?
We're back. I don't think anyone
Seven?
mulliganed. I see lots of
Seven
cards in
each?
everyone's hand. They're ready. I see multiple dual lands in James's hand, which is goes a long way for him winning.
Yeah, I think so. The interesting thing about like Gary's mannerisms is that he always shuffles his cards and then pops them on the table, and I think that pop is intimidating as shit.
Oh, Gary did mulligan.
I think they both did.
I think they both did. Well, he has the pop, and he also
No, that's like he's like.
well, he
we're
also
doing this,
looks
you
at
know?
all of his cards upside down.
Apparently SB.
I can't do
SB1.
that. I can't
Yeah.
believe that.
I think we knew that. We knew that.
Yeah.
Daniel Espinoza, green black turbo depths in the top 8.
Yeah, imagine having to play 6 rounds to get in the top 8.
Must be rough. Alexander Tash actually won one of our interim grinders for the first round bye. He's only played 3 games of Magic today.
3 rounds.
3 rounds of
matches.
Magic. 3 matches. Have you dropped a game?
Let's see.
Or are you playing?
I lost. So I played. So round 1. Well, round 2.
What deck were you playing?
Well, I'm playing Storm.
There is.
Oh yeah, not
There is
everyone knows that.
we.
Yeah.
By the way, we
There's
now have
50-something
Wasteland.
people that don't
We
know
have
that.
a Wasteland into Delver situation here, guys.
All right. I mean, James.
Oh, you drew
removal
the
is
other
on a-
Wasteland.
is on a loo.
We have a second.
What should?
We have a shh as someone screams.
Oh, I got the other Wasteland.
Someone's apparently never casted before.
Yeah, come on. We do it professionally here.
So you'd like to think Gary will fire off, do his particular,
we got another brainstorm here. He's gonna look at more cards before
look
he casts
look
the
at
other
more
Wasteland.
look at more
He's
cards.
gonna slow roll that Wasteland.
Ooh.
Oh, there's the push. There's the
Oh,
days.
There's the days.
There's the days.
Oh, man,
Oh no!
Gary's
And here comes that
He's gonna
Wasteland.
fucking
Remember when he
Wasteland the
didn't
shit
need
out
any of
him.
his sideboard cards?
Doesn't need him.
This is what's gonna happen again.
Doesn't need him. He has an unflipped Delver though. He needs that Delver to
Oh,
flip.
that's true. Yeah, not much pressure over on Gary Wong's side.
There's the Wasteland, and we've been here before.
Ooh. Ooh,
No
ooh,
land.
ooh.
No land for anybody.
No, James is.
There's the
and there's the
flip.
flip. We got the pressure. James is on no
The pressure
lands.
is on. Gary Wong trying to do Delver things.
Oh, what a way! I mean, James has got to feel pretty bad about
James
this,
is
about
doing
this situation.
the angry shuffle. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the truffle shuffle.
He needs to hit it on the table to intimidate his opponent.
Here's the volcanic island. Delver's still coming over. I don't know if you've ever
Volcanic
been.
island, too.
You play goblins. I don't think. Have you ever actually been Delvered?
Yes.
Oh, being Delvered is the worst feeling in the history of the world.
It's the worst when you have uncounterable removal and it still doesn't matter.
He's uncounter removable. He needs runner land in specific green and black colors without his list directly in front of me. What lands does he have that could cast
His
this?
bayous are out.
That
so
is
his
both
best lands,
bayous. So
right?
he has one tropical,
One trop and an underground sea.
2 underground seas, and then basics.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't able to get his basics out.
Ah,
He's
Spell
just
Pierce.
Another non-land. James is. I mean,
3 at a time. Death by a
Gary
thousand
can
cuts.
see it. Gary can see it.
Gary tastes blood.
He's going in. He's got a spell pierce too.
How many ponders he has in his hand, though.
As soon as there's
So
another,
why wouldn't Gary just fire off a ponder there?
I think that he just wants to keep as many cards in his hand, make it look as intimidating as heck.
Just try to be
Like, okay,
scared.
okay, we'll throw off the ponder. 2 bolts, a bolt, chain lightning, and a
Bolt, chain lightning,
bolt.
Arcanist.
I think you take the bolt. You just bolt him on the end step.
I mean, if he
And
can land Dreadhorde here, he takes a bolt, yeah.
Yeah, he
Is
takes
it-
the bolt, end step bolt, attack, then chain lightning, and then he's at 1.
Yeah, and then if fetch lands a dead card. I mean, I think this is going to be a very disappointing end of James's day.
And then he gets to keep the spell pierce up for
As
any
Ga-
1-drop removal.
As Gary's just
Oh, he ended up trying to diversify the threats here. No other.
there it is. Those
There
are
it is.
Delver things happen, guys. I don't know if you know that. Delver things have
In
happened
a
here.
quick fashion, the low to the ground deck was able to go underneath the control deck here and really just give him the old Delver.
The old Delver Haya. There
Nice
is a real
judo
reason
shot.
why decks like Bug Control have kind of seen less play since the Deathrite Shaman banning. Like, just getting hit by Wasteland is just so painful when you're trying to hit Abrupt Decay in general.
Yeah, just-
is really hard to cast when you're a blue deck. Like, that's
Even
both,
2-drops, if you're just trying to cast those 2-drops every single time.
that is both of
a
your
tough time.
off color splashes.
Yeah.
So being able to Abrupt Decay something consistently while you're playing tons of blue cantrips is very difficult, even with light provocation, with just a couple Wastelands. That was obviously double Wasteland draw, but a double Wasteland draw ended the game.
Yeah, that Wasteland at the top really sealed the deal.
Very difficult, and that's going to be the strength of the blue-red Delver deck moving forward, is that it gets to play the Wastelands, it plays the low-to-the-ground Daze, Lightning Bolt, Delver,
And it doesn't get Wasteland.
and it plays its own basic lands. It loves having basic lands in play, which really gives it resilience against the other Wasteland decks and lets it play cards like Blood Moon out of the board, which I don't even know if Gary's playing, but it is a card. So we will congratulate Gary Wong on his top 8 berth. That might be the last relevant match. Let me see if I can get a little interview action here until the next round.
All right. We'll see who we can pull into the booth. Who's got some time. But so far, what we know for our top 8: Eldrazi, Elves, in no particular order, Depths, Blue-Red Delver, Death and Taxes. I think that's all we know for sure right now. So there's three mystery decks right now, but pretty diverse. Pretty diverse top 8 so far. And I think we might be able to get a clean cut here. Well, I guess it's already round 6, so we're able to see our players get into a good position to be able to take out this top 8. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We got 65 viewers right now, and we appreciate each and every one of you.
Okay, Dan. Dan, I brought someone for you. The one, the only, Tony 12 Post himself.
Mr. Tony Murata.
Mr. Tony Murata.
How you doing? How you doing?
I went 4-0 and then intentionally drew the last 2 rounds to make the top
All
8.
right. So we also have 12 posts in the top
12
8.
posts is in the final. Update here.
Okay. We watched one of your matches. Golos. Is he not so awesome?
Oh, he's been so solid. Like,
Yeah.
Everybody, when I first, I was so excited when he first got spoiled. Everybody just kind of laughed at me.
Oh, really?
But he does exactly like what the deck wants, the mono green version at least.
Right.
Like,
Tutor for the land, have a body.
For anyone,
You didn't even use the body.
For
You
anyone
didn't
who-
block
for
with
anyone
them.
who doesn't
you
know,
didn't attack with them. You did nothing. You just used it
Golos,
as another
Golos
like,
is a
cross rotation.
3/5 for 5. It is a legendary creature, so it does have some synergy and anti-synergy with Caracas, and it lets the 12 Post player search for any land and put it into play. Tapped or untapped?
tapped.
Puts it into play tapped. But if it's a Cloud Post, that really doesn't matter. They come in and play tapped anyway.
Tabernacle
Strange enough, if
doesn't
something
need
comes
it,
into play
doesn't
double
matter.
tapped, it should untap itself.
But yeah,
New
Dan,
rule.
You explained it perfectly. Like, it's just like the only thing that matters about it is that it's a 5 mana like rampant growth for any land for the deck, and the fact that he's colorless is like very important too.
Yeah.
The deck can't like guarantee having its color. And,
Sure.
But just like Expedition Map, in the same like kind of way.
But this actually ramps you.
Exactly, yeah.
Man, I
No,
mean,
we saw you play against some Ren and 6 recursion spells, and it just seemed like while they were looping their wastelands with their Ren and 6s, if they didn't present a clock with you, it didn't actually matter. Because eventually you would have a crop rotate to move up into the land count, a Golo to move up in the land count, and then they were kind of fighting a losing battle because they have to wasteland you, but once you start getting 4, 5, 6 mana, the game doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got like kind of lucky that first game when I just happened to top deck the second land and be able to use the Expedition Map. So
times to get there.
Better
Yeah.
lucky than good.
Yeah, I mean, watching you play through, I think you got wastelanded. I think like 6 times in one game.
I feel like
And
six
still
is an
ended up-
understatement.
Yeah, like you were able to fight through recurring wastelands almost to a turn, and still come out ahead and winning that game. And the entire time, it looked like you were in control.
Oh, okay. I think it was just like Karn, the Great Creator, and Golos. Like,
Yeah.
his deck didn't have it like not too long
Very
ago.
shortly ago. I know I played you on lands. Had to be less than a month ago. It was like I think it was my winning in for the top 8 of the Legacy League, and you did not have most of the cards that you're playing today. So you would say that the new sets have been very kind to the 12 plus players.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you had the full 4 of on the Golos. So, what are you searching out most when you play them?
Ideally like Cloud Post,
Yeah.
but also Ayavugan probably as just as much.
Okay, I've seen you get the Tabernacle the most.
Okay, yeah. Then Tabernacle also plays well with the Karn and Lattice-Lock. Just
Right.
removing a
That-
creature.
Because
Yeah.
it aces all their creatures.
Yeah, I didn't know about that, and then you did it, and then he had to explain it to me. And I was like, "This is
We-
pretty good."
We did also realize that you can in fact activate Golos.
Yeah, if you ever need to activate Golos, it's possible.
Don't let the secret out.
That's the secret, right?
That
You
if,
get the 7
if
mana.
for some reason they kill the Karn and you just have the Lattice, you now have an active Golos.
Yeah, now you can do the Golos.
I was hoping people wouldn't
You got
find
there?
that.
No? You leaving?
I
Take it
mean,
easy, man. So, Devs,
what would the perfect Golos flip be?
Emrakul probably. Ugin.
Emrakul, Ugin, Kozilek, let's go.
That being said, has it happened yet?
No, I haven't
No,
used it.
okay.
You haven't cast it at all since you put it in your deck.
No.
I don't think it's very often that you would
Alright.
ever do that.
No.
I know
Yeah.
I played him I was on Delver last night, and as he casts the Golos, which is the card we're going to remember the name of, he had 2 or 3 Glimmer Posts in play at this point. So looking at the Golos, it wasn't just a 3/5 blocker I had to get through. for 5. It was also he was going to gain way more life than I could outpace, and it was a must-force card in that instance. And as I only had one counterspell, the Ulamog you played next turn was game-ending. So the card definitely seems good. It adds just as much utility and versatility as the Karn does. So your 4/5 drops are much better than they were a couple weeks ago, and it probably pulls you away from having to play cards like Primeval Titan, right?
Yeah. I mean, Primeval Titan, for this particular version of the deck that I'm playing, like, it's just really too difficult to pay for the 2 green to cost.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why, like, even though he's like half of a Primeval Titan effect,
Yeah.
Kolos, like, just the fact that he's
For one less mana, and
exactly, it makes up for
has the
that.
legendary came out? Thank you.
Yeah, it has also. You can bounce it with
You can
Karakas
bounce it and play it
replay
again.
it, which is obviously really useful.
Yeah, that seems like a thing you can do. So you
That
bounce it and then
seems
go
really
go
good.
get your Ugin to go get your 12/12s or
Right.
your 15/15s or whatever they are. I don't think I've ever actually read them because the game's usually over when you get to that point.
It's just very strong to be able to get those tutors out onto the battlefield.
Super solid.
Was there anything in the top 8 you want to dodge?
Pretty much like 6 of the other 7 people.
Okay.
It's pretty combo heavy.
It's
so-
pretty combo heavy today.
Yeah. I mean, that might be tough, but we saw you do some good stuff with the Karn and Bridge. That was a really sly play.
Oh yeah, like it's definitely Karn definitely strengthens those combo matchups at least a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, it just seems like the mid-range ones, right? Like your 4-drop and your 5-drop. Now, Karn and Golos. Those are not only haymakers, but they also ramp you into the other like crazy haymakers, and it just flows so well now.
Couldn't have said it better.
And then you get to run your Ancient Stirrings, and you get to run crop rotation and everything like that. I think that the mono green, you've been working on the mono green for a while,
Yeah.
and it's just
I mean, the power of crop rotation in Ancient Stirrings is just absurd and definitely legacy viable.
how is the counter magic though? Is the counter magic tough to deal with, or
I usually
you're just
can-
doing enough powerful stuff?
Yeah, like you have enough threats in the deck. Like even the small, like those expedition map, crop rotation, like even those end up being threats like later in the game.
Yeah.
So you usually have like enough like powerful plays to like just fight through the counters. Like
Yeah.
that's like one of the strengths of the deck is just the redundancy. How like cards are useful at every point of the game
Right.
that they have to answer. So
And it's still, once he gets to a certain point of mana, there's not really anything
Right.
you can do.
Right. You're just like,
Right.
okay. Yeah, I hope you don't play something crazy right now.
Yeah, like once his mana count gets into the, I'm going to say more than, 7?
yeah, that's when like you get Ugin.
Yeah, the game's probably over because
Yeah.
no one's playing cards that even can remotely touch that just pure raw power level.
Yeah. So if you didn't have candelabras, what would you put in place? For those that want to play the deck but don't have
Yeah,
the money to be able to
the
get their
plebs of us
candelabras.
all, like myself.
Well, you have the tabernacle.
I have the tabernacle.
You have the
I do not have the candelabras. I also do not have $4,000 to
Yeah, to
make
get the
candelabras appear.
I'd probably recommend like Mirage Mirror. It's like a little bit more expensive.
Costs 2, right?
It costs 3.
Costs 3.
And if you pay 2 to activate it, you copy any creature, artifact, enchantment, or land.
Okay.
So that's kind of like does like a similar function,
Okay.
and it costs like $1,000 less. So
Does Mirage Mirror trigger Dark Depths?
it does, yeah.
That's
so that's
awesome.
another.
It really does.
Yeah.
All right.
That's another idea, like make another like colorless dark depth deck or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that does seem interesting. Like another way. It's almost like a mana rock with a
Yeah.
lot more utility.
Yeah, and I was seeing in your sideboard you have 4 Crozen Grips and then 4 Sphere of Position. So what's the Crozen Grips for?
Most of the like best answers to like pieces of hate against you are like artifacts or enchantments.
Okay.
Blood Moon, Back to Basics, also
Okay.
Chalice of the Void, and
Oh, Chalice of the Void on 1?
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. I wouldn't have thought that would be super good.
You don't get candelabras, you don't get crop rotations, you don't get ancient stirrings.
Oh.
It's very good.
It's a lot of cards.
Okay.
But also, I was pretty worried about like the Karn Lattice Lock myself, like opposing ones,
Oh, sure.
and so that was like another big reason I included like max out on the Croson grips.
Mostly, that was the first time I've ever seen the Karn Lattice Lock successfully.
Really,
Yes, I've never.
Yeah,
I guess the decks that I play,
I've seen people.
we never
skip
get
before that.
to that point.
Yeah. What about the one, like 2-drop card that turns at permanent into an artifact? Have you looked at that one?
I haven't tried that yet. That's definitely like an idea. Like,
I think that's more for people that aren't going to get to 6 lands. So when you Karn and aren't and don't have 75 mana available and don't usually have 75 mana available,
Yeah.
you get that. So then you're grinding out their lands.
Yeah.
I think he's less interested in their lands, more interested in.
like I'm generally behind like by the
Yeah.
time I'm like using cards, so
Okay.
yeah, I don't think it would be that effective in this deck, but it would definitely be better in like one of them that like pressures like already.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I was looking at like when you first negged it, and I was like, oh, what's he gonna get? I was like, oh, you get this, and then turn off lands, but you didn't have it, and then you went. I think you went for the.
You actually don't turn
Or
off
mods
lands. You
with
actually
that.
kill the lands with that card.
Well, you can turn. Well, when you play it,
Yes,
then you go get it too,
Yes.
and then on their upkeep, you turn
Yeah.
it into it. And you basically get a Rishon report.
for one turn. But then the next turn you
Then you start blowing up
turn it.
anything
Yeah,
you
you start
want.
eating them. You Mox Monkey him to death.
Yeah.
But
Which is
which is sick. You see that in the red painter decks.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say? I think we're gonna start. I think we're almost ready for the next round.
Golos Tireless Pilgrim is really good in 12 post decks. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first,
Pick your
guys.
copies up now.
It's about the
For
price.
amazing
like-
discoveries at Gilbert or any of their locations. They will ship it to you.
Well, thank you, Tony. We'll be rooting for you in the top 8, and hopefully you can just dodge. I mean, hopefully you can just dodge everybody.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it
We'll
turns
see how
out
it
for you,
goes. Good
but
luck.
I
Thanks for
believe in
having
you. Have a good one.
Thank you too.
Thanks everybody. That was Tony Murata with his 12 post deck. Just a little quick interview. We'll be back with top 8 shortly. Thanks everybody.